We had a 5-on-5 tournament in 2019. No,
Oh,
18.
neat.
No, 19. Yeah,
All right.
which kind of brought us to today with submissions on the shore.
This is our last matchup in the quarterfinals. We have Team Hooligans versus Team Iron Roots. Our Hooligans are Jesus Urbina. Jesus Chewy Urbina
Chewy.
is known by Chewy.
He goes by Chewy.
We have Quentin Rosenwig and Adrian Nez. All of these guys are dangerous leg lockers. Quentin is probably the most dangerous I've seen.
Sure.
Kind of underrated. Adrian Nez is actually he's a Navajo Nation member, and he's from Phoenix, so he's from my home state. I've got to see him compete quite a bit. Really dangerous leg locker, but he'll put you to sleep. He'll sit down and he'll pull guard and you just won't know what he's going for until he's already on the leg.
Interesting.
Chewy is really great wrestling. He's taken me down every single time. It's been a really fun to roll with.
Super smooth with his takedowns,
likes to attack
right?
the back.
And he stays
He
light.
likes to attack my back.
Being so compact, you don't know how
And
he manipulates heavier, bigger,
oh,
stronger
absolutely.
people.
And he's incredibly strong. And I think because he is a smaller grappler, his dimensions are really tough to submit. So I would be really surprised if we see any kind of submission on Chewy. From Team Iron Roots, and you'll see they're already on the mat, we have James Micus, Daniel Reese, and Tyrell Anderson. I was able to talk with these guys a little bit last night. Really cool group of guys from Colorado Springs, Colorado. Daniel and his wife, Erin, and Erin will be fighting on the submission on the shore card, opened their academy like a week before the shutdown.
Oh, my goodness.
But
what timing.
Testament to their coaching. You know, they've been able to retain their academy and able to retain their students. Testament to their students, too, you know, supporting their coaches that way.
Absolutely.
So we're here, and I'm excited to see all of these guys go. We have the coin flip here, and it looks like that Team Iron Roots gets to choose their matchup. We have Tyrell Anderson. And if this match doesn't end in a submission, Tyrell is facing off against Quentin Rosenwig. If there is no submission in this round, then we get EBI rules. Quentin has decided. But we'll see if it even gets that far. Tyrell just looks like a tough guy. Incredibly athletic. Both of these guys are really athletic. But Quentin, he does this
He's already got
kind of toe hold.
Sure. Quentin rocking the Live Jits jersey. Live Jits is sponsoring the team today.
Oh, nice.
Team Hooligans. And then Iron Roots, of course, showing their loyalty to Cult BJJ with their sponsorship and their rash guards and trunks today, their fight trunks.
Both great apparel brands. Quentin going for the heel hook. Tyrell is defending, rolling through, and he's locked up his figure four. That usually keeps, figure four tends to be a good avoidance to leg locks, and especially heel hooks. We're in the 50-50 guard. They're going to reset him.
You called it with Quentin, immediately attacking the ankles.
Stuff. He's a black belt. He's head of 10P Savannah out in Georgia. He came out to our 10th Planet Tucson a little while back and just showed some nasty leg lock details. Always searching, always searching. Tyrell doing a really good job, and he gets the tap. It's really, really hard to avoid Quentin's leg locks. He has, if you defend one, he has another 3 set up.
It's amazing. I love that. I love how he strings it together so seamless.
So Team Hooligans, it's a 3-point for the submission during during regulation rounds. We are going to our next matchup. Oh, awesome! Is Daniel Reese versus Adrian Nez. As I said, Reese is a black belt. He's the owner of Iron Roots out in Colorado Springs. And Adrian Nez is as you can see, is just sat down and is
Yes.
going for his kind of
Inverted.
lazy game. He's
Yes.
really great inversions, and he'll invert and invert until he isolates a leg. And that's what he's done. Really nasty heel hooks, really good straight ankle locks. But Daniel Reese is doing an excellent job of both defending and attacking his own legs. Adrian going for a toe hold, and he gets a
And
tap.
a tap right there, yeah. It seems like Adrian Nez knew exactly what he was going for going into
Oh,
this.
yeah, I've seen that a million times. Hopefully Daniel Reese is okay. Looks like he's having some trouble standing on that leg. You never want to see that.
I don't,
you know?
but it looks like
Yeah.
Nez released it pretty quickly, which
Yeah,
is what I
he's-
always hope.
He is. You know, he's very considerate to his other grapplers. He is. Every time he steps on the mat, he's there to win. But he's not there to hurt his opponents.
Here's
Our
Chewy
last
Obrina.
matchup, we have Chewy versus James Micus. I was able to roll with James a little bit. Really incredible kind of flowy guard game, inversions and
Look at Chewy attacking already.
oh, always.
Gets right through his guard.
I mean, you'll see James is just amazing guard retention. James is a brown belt there at Iron Roots. He's also a member of the Air Force. He's a multiple-time fight-to-win vet. They love to have him out there. He loves getting to the back. I think during our match, you know, he was always searching for the back last night when we were rolling.
Chewy's a combat jiu-jitsu vet.
He is a combat jiu-jitsu vet.
That's
He
up
is.
to him, man.
Yeah. Great wrestling, great passing. You know, his compact stature really, one, prevents you from effectively getting any kind of submission on him. But it also, you know, he's just super explosive when he does try to go somewhere.
I think
Very hard to hold on to.
it stifles your setups because he's elusive. He uses that
He
size.
is elusive.
And he really balls up, you know? He can roll through almost anything and then back to his feet like he just showed us.
Like he just did.
I like that because it tells you the power of jiu-jitsu.
James, just a really slinky game.
Yes.
He's got that leg locked up and a lockdown and back control. Chewy has stepped back and he appears to be looking for a leg lock. But in stepping back, you often, you know, if your opponent knows where you're going to go, it gives you the back take.
It's close to it, but again, Chewy just so tough at
He,
giving anything
and
up.
very strong competitor.
And he looks like he's going to get what he wants. It looks like he's going to straighten his body out and not give up his back. Attacking the knee. Oh,
He's isolated that leg.
Yep. He's got
Up
that
a
heel.
double outside ashi. But James has slipped his knee out. Now, anytime you're going for a leg lock, you really want to keep that knee
He's got a mean crossface on
above.
Chewy. Yeah, absolutely.
or between your legs, rather.
A lot of
I
pressure
think James
on Chewy.
is really incredibly flexible as well. So it's going to be hard
I want-
to get any kind of submission on him.
Oh,
He's achieved the
Chewy's
back. He may be looking for a body lock if he can
looking to
free
push
that other
foot
leg.
off. Yeah. Chewy doesn't want him to get that hook in. He's really paying attention to that foot. Shoving it back down, even though he's got that.
He's
That
got a
leg
lock
lock.
around his hip, though.
Yeah.
You know, if you can't get the opposite
There
hook
goes.
in, you really want to lock that hip out. Looking for an armbar, it looks like he's got that Kimura grip, and he's swum it over on the opposite side of his head.
Got a body lock on him.
We have about halfway through this match. Chewy is not in a great position, but again, Chewy is a tough competitor. James really needs to be a little bit more aggressive if he wants to finish this. But that might be his game. He may just be looking for those entries, and he's in a great position. He's in
really
no rush.
stretching out Chewy.
He's got a nice face crank, but Chewy's
Chewy's
not
out.
going to tap to a face crank. Chewy's sat back and looking for a leg. James is really good, just slipping those legs out, keeping them just out of reach.
Trying to
Beautiful
roll out of it.
roll. They're going to have to
Only
stop
so
the
much mat
match.
space.
Yeah, I believe they're gonna stand him right up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just put him right
There we
back
go.
into
All
it.
right. Chewy again, sitting back for the leg. James doing a great job, being very elusive with those leg lock attempts. We have 2 minutes left in this match. Ooh, we've seen some rubber guard from James. Chewy's no stranger to this position either. But James has long legs, and so it'd be really cool it's easy for him to both get that, establish that rubber guard and then bring the opposite leg out, up and over his shoulder.
I didn't recognize you for a second.
Really interesting to see these two different styles. Chewy being very aggressive, you know, a heavy leg locker, but also a heavy passer. James preferring the guard, preferring the back takes, really smooth, slinky style.
The owners of Live
Attacks
Jits.
by both of them.
Owners of Live Jits, which Chewy's wearing their rash guard, are in the crowd today. I see him in the back, Mike Hermosillo, Mike Elizondo
Oh,
out of
nice.
Southgate, California. And
California fightwear apparel brand.
Yes, and they own Artemis Jiu-Jitsu in Southgate as well. Artemis Jiu-Jitsu and MMA.
Artemis, I think.
There's an Artemis
Goddess
tournament.
of War?
Yes,
Yep.
as well, yes. Yeah, I asked that question recently. What's that mean?
Yeah.
You're right. You're absolutely right. Super spiritual people, man, the Artemis people, too. I think that's why they pulled up that name. Because they're big on that meaning that coincides with their philosophy for their
Sure.
school and fight style.
Pulled rubber guard again for James, but it's really hard to keep Chewy in rubber guard.
And we're running out of mat space.
Woo! I think they've covered just about every bit of this mat.
Really?
And we have time.
That's Chewy's way, too. He's a mover.
We have Chewy with the decision on the overtime. He's going to decide EBI rules. So again, this is a single EBI round.
Spiderweb?
He's going to go for spiderweb on the left arm. I'm not sure how familiar Team Iron Roots is with the EBI overtime, but you know, as much as James was putting up that rubber guard,
Sure.
I don't think he's a stranger to it
It can't
at
be
all.
foreign, yeah. And it's kind of universal in a lot of tournaments now, too.
It is. You know, it's becoming more popular, and so if competitors aren't at least training that rule set
It's an
somewhat
injustice
regularly,
themselves,
yeah,
Because it's
then
out
they're
there.
really, you know, putting themselves to a disadvantage.
That's right.
Chewy looks like he almost isolated that arm. James doing a good job of locking that up.
Chewy incorporating a different way of isolating that arm than we saw with Ruben as well. And he's got that foot right under the chin, putting pressure on the face. If the neck gets turned the opposite direction, he might get it free.
But it's also, you know, it's oh, James is
And he got the opposite arm.
almost-
He's out.
We might have had an early.
It's a good question. It's going to be left to the ref at this point. We
Let's
have two
see.
refs on hand, so we have to wait and see what they both say.
I think the ref might have called out early,
But there was a tap, but it may have been after.
but James might have agreed that, you know, hey, that's the tap. We'll see what happens. I'm not quite sure what's going on. We have James has
reset.
decided to go for the back position. As we saw during the regulation round, he's very strong in this position. So he, I believe, needs to finish this. Let's see what happens. James is coming across the face.
Chewy trying to peel off to the right side, which is
James needs a follow.
Yeah.
He can't be complacent here. If Chewy is able to get his hips free and turn toward James,
If he can pass
then
that
he's
knee,
out.
yeah, he almost passed that knee, which would free him up to move his hips across and turn.
We're not quite out. I think James is still attacking a
There he is.
head and arm. Now he's out. I think that's a shorter time.
Yes.
We're going to look at...
On ride time, that's shorter.
Yeah, I think the ride time was quite a bit shorter. So Chewy had the longer ride time. I think we're going to...
And quicker escape.
Yep, and
Both.
quicker. Well, I
Yes,
mean, it's...
yeah.
it
Go
goes
hand in
hand in hand. Chewy, Team Hoolins gets the win. They have another 2 points for overtime. So that puts them 5-0. We are still going to see the last... Or that was... Oh, I missed. No, they won all 3 matches, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.